You're first. Yeah, after me. Good afternoon, everyone. It is really an honor to be here with our distinguished delegation from the House of Representatives. I want them all to stand so you can see who they are. Congressman Earl Blumenauer, McCollum, Pingree, Keating, Bonamici, Brownlee, Huffman, Lowenthal, Beyer, Boyle, Espaillat, Caston, Escobar, Ocasio-Cortez, Levin, Neguse. Thank you all for being here. Today we will hear, and that's an applause line in case you didn't know. And we can applaud ourselves. We can applaud ourselves. This is a delegation that is so full of knowledge on the subject, determination to get the job done, holding it as a value, and again, with the beautiful diversity of our country. I'd like to acknowledge our panelists who you'll be hearing from: Congressman Frank Pallone of the Energy and Commerce Committee, Eddie Bernice Johnson, Chair of the Science, Space and Technology Committee, Gregory Meeks, Foreign Affairs, Raul Grijalva, Natural Resources, Kathy Castor, the Select Committee on Climate. It is a very important meeting for the world. We know that, and we come here equipped, ready to take on the challenge, to meet the moment. In Madrid for COP25, it was my privilege to address the Climate Vulnerable Former Partners Leaders event for Action for Survival. You see now, barely 2 years later, the importance focused on the vulnerables. That time we heard from those climate vulnerable communities as they gave us an early sounding. They had been doing it for years, but another early sounding that we would hear this year when the UN told the world that we face code red for humanity because of the climate crisis. Our congressional delegation comes here with after advancing legislation to Build Back Better for Women, which represents the most ambitious and consequential climate and clean energy legislation of all time. The nearly $1 trillion investment recognizes the interconnectedness of climate change and gender justice, which we talked about this morning. Let me just tell you what is in the bill, and then we'll get to our colleagues, and some of this I'll tell you in Q&A. Our legislation is far-reaching, ensuring that future economy is greener and cleaner. That means $250 billion in clean energy tax credits to develop and deploy the latest and future generations of clean power. That means over $100 billion in addition for resilience, including climate-smart agriculture and nature-based climate solutions. Another $100 billion toward local and region-led climate solutions, recognizing that women are leading the way, and over $222 billion for environmental justice as part of President Biden's Justice 40 pledge, long overdue for the health and economic vitality of those who have suffered from pollution and environmental injustice. It advances President Biden's goal to fulfill our commitments in the Global Methane Pledge and Breakthrough Energy Pledge, and we're very, very honored that we are represented on a full-time basis here by Special Envoy John Kerry. Now, let me just say this. In addition to all of this, there's a whole section of hundreds of billions of dollars for how we can enable everyone to participate in the economic prosperity that will flow from this, whether it's universal pre-K and child care, child tax credit, family and medical leave, which we hope will stay in the bill, the issue that relates to home health care. All of these things enable families, whether it's dads or moms, but largely moms, to be in the workplace. That's why we say Build Back Better with women. It has to be different. Let me just now just say that led by our delegation, the United States Congress is showing the world true climate leadership. We're proud of our president, He was one of the first people in Congress in 1986 to introduce legislation to address the climate crisis. He takes great pride in that. He's worked on it ever since, and now in the lead as President of the United States. He knows, as we all do, this is all about the children leaving a world where they can be healthy, more secure, and more in reach of their fulfillment. With that, I'm now pleased to yield the floor, as we say in Congress, to the distinguished chair of the House Committee on Energy and Commerce. They say of that committee, if the sun shines on it or not, whatever it is the purview of the Energy and Commerce Committee.